Imagine walking through the endless frozen plains of Siberia, the wind howling like it's carrying secrets from a time long forgotten, when suddenly, you stumble upon something that seems impossible. Something enormous, something covered in fur, yet perfectly preserved, as if time itself had decided to pause around it. What you've just seen is not just a relic of the past, it's a woolly mammoth, one of the most iconic creatures to ever walk the earth. But what if I told you that what we think we know about woolly mammoths, their extinction, their lives, even their disappearance, is only part of the story? What if some secrets are being deliberately kept hidden and some of these creatures may not be entirely gone? Stay with me, because today, we're going deep into the hidden world of woolly mammoths, a story full of science, history, and some conspiracies that might make you question what we've been told. First, let's start with the obvious question. Why were woolly mammoths so woolly? Why did evolution give them these massive coats of fur? Science gives us a clear answer, at least on the surface. Woolly mammoths lived during the Ice Age, a period in Earth's history when global temperatures dropped dramatically. Ice sheets expanded across North America, Europe, and Asia, covering entire landscapes and glaciers. Life as we know it was pushed to the extremes. Plants struggled to grow, predators adapted or died off, and animals like the woolly mammoth developed thick fur, layers of fat, and smaller extremities to survive the brutal cold. Imagine temperatures dropping as low as minus 58 degrees Fahrenheit. This wasn't a world for the weak, and yet the woolly mammoth thrived. Now here's something intriguing. The woolly mammoth had not one, but two layers of fur. The outer layer was coarse and could grow up to 20 inches long, practically a natural armor against the cold. Beneath that, a soft undercoat insulated them like the most advanced thermal jacket. But science also tells us something even stranger. Fossil evidence shows that some mammoths had mysterious humps on their backs. Most scientists think these humps stored fat much like a camel, giving them energy when food was scarce. But why would nature give them this feature in a world that already seems meticulously designed for survival? And more importantly, could these physical traits hide clues about something deeper, something we're only beginning to understand about their biology and potential resilience? Size is another aspect that immediately captures attention. Woolly mammoths stood about 13 feet tall at the shoulder, roughly the same size as today's African elephants. But unlike elephants, their ears were smaller, reducing heat loss, a fascinating evolutionary tweak. And then, there were the tusks, some reaching up to 15 feet long, not just for defense but for survival. Mammoths used these tusks to dig through ice and snow, uncovering hidden grasses and shrubs beneath frozen soil. But there's another layer to these tusks that scientists are only starting to explore. Chemical residues and microscopic wear patterns suggest that some mammoths may have used tools or manipulated their environment in ways we never imagined. Could these behaviors hint at a level of intelligence closer to our own than we previously believed? Herd dynamics of woolly mammoths are equally compelling. Female mammoths typically had one calf at a time, roaming in herds of around 15 individuals. Males would leave the herd at roughly 10 years old, wandering alone or forming smaller bachelor groups. But here's a provocative question. Some reports suggest that mammoths were capable of coordinated migrations over hundreds of miles, moving in ways that seem almost strategic, like they understood the rhythms of the earth itself. Could this hint at an unrecognized level of social intelligence? And if so, what happened when their habitats started changing at the end of the Ice Age? Was their extinction inevitable, or could humans or even other mysterious forces have accelerated it? And that brings us to the topic no one can avoid, the extinction of the woolly mammoth. Conventional history tells us that they disappeared around 10,000 years ago, victims of human hunting and the warming climate. Yet there's something about that timeline that doesn't quite add up. The last known populations survived in isolated pockets well beyond the supposed extinction date. Some evidence suggests mammoths roamed parts of Wrangel Island in the Arctic until 1650 BC, over 1,000 years after the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. That's a staggering fact that hints at the possibility that woolly mammoths survived long enough to witness human civilizations in their infancy. Could there be undiscovered populations still hiding in the most remote regions of Siberia, the Arctic, or other unexplored wildernesses? Evidence supporting these theories isn't just anecdotal. In 2012, an 11-year-old boy walking his dog in Russia stumbled upon a mammoth skeleton partially protruding from the ice. In 2022, a perfectly preserved baby mammoth was discovered in Canada, buried for more than 30,000 years. These discoveries don't just teach us about the past, they raise questions about the present. For example, the DNA extracted from these frozen specimens is astonishingly intact. Scientists have speculated for years that this opens the door to de-extinction projects, attempts to bring mammoths back using genetic engineering and cloning technology. And here's where it gets really intriguing. Some whistleblowers and leaked documents suggest that certain governments and private corporations have been quietly working on creating hybrid mammoths, part elephant, part woolly mammoth, for purposes we may not fully understand. Could there be mammoths walking in secret research facilities right now? Imagine the implications. A woolly mammoth isn't just a relic, it's a living connection to an age that predates our civilizations. If these animals were brought back, fully functional and adapted, they could alter ecosystems, attract scientific and commercial attention, and even challenge our understanding of extinction itself. Some conspiracy theorists go further, suggesting that governments could be using cloned mammoths to test climate adaptability in real-world conditions, or even as part of secret wildlife projects in areas inaccessible to the public. Every frozen tundra dig, every DNA experiment, every mammoth mummy seems to whisper the same question. What else are they hiding from us? But let's take a step back. Why do we care about woolly mammoths beyond curiosity? Because their extinction, or potential survival, teaches us about environmental change, human impact, and the fragility of life on Earth. When humans spread across the globe, hunting megafauna and altering landscapes, we weren't just impacting animals, we were shaping the trajectory of ecosystems, potentially triggering cascading effects still visible today. If mammoths can be revived, even partially, they might help restore grasslands and influence carbon cycles in the Arctic, creating a real-world experiment in rewilding. And some researchers hint that the very existence of mammoths could even help slow climate change in strategic ways. But again, who controls this knowledge? Who decides which projects see the light of day and which remain classified? And the mystery only deepens. Consider the physical evidence of mammoth behavior. Tusks with intricate wear patterns, preserved stomach contents showing previously unknown diets, and footprints frozen in permafrost suggest complex interactions with their environment. There are even claims, though hotly debated, that mammoths may have interacted with early humans in ways more sophisticated than mere hunting. Some cave paintings depict mammoths with exaggerated features or in unusual positions, which has led some theorists to suggest symbolic or ritual significance, hinting at a psychological understanding of the species that modern science is only beginning to scratch the surface of. So, what does all this mean for us watching today? Well, for starters, it means that every discovery, every fossil, every mummified specimen carries more than just historical weight. It carries secrets, genetic, ecological, and potentially technological, that could change how we understand life itself. And it raises questions that most mainstream channels won't ask. Could woolly mammoths survive in remote areas even today? Are we being deliberately kept from learning the full truth about their biology? What would happen if de-extinction projects succeed and these creatures roam the Earth again? The possibilities are as thrilling as they are unsettling. Now, I want to pause for a moment and ask you directly, what do you think? Could there really be surviving woolly mammoths hidden somewhere? Would governments risk public knowledge of living mammoths, or is it all just speculation? Comment below with your theories, because this is where your ideas might just connect to the ongoing mysteries scientists are still grappling with. And if you're fascinated by this topic, smash that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss what we uncover next. Let's take a moment to recap what we know for certain. Woolly mammoths were giants of the Ice Age, perfectly adapted to extreme cold with 2 layers of fur, massive tusks, and even fat humps for energy storage. They lived in herds, traveled vast distances, and faced extinction around 10,000 years ago, but with anomalies that hint at survival beyond that. Frozen discoveries in Siberia, Russia, and Canada give us DNA that's remarkably intact, opening doors to cloning and de-extinction. Yet behind these discoveries lies a shadow world of secret experiments, government control, and speculation about what's really possible. And then there's the tantalizing possibility that woolly mammoths could one day walk among us again. Scientists have already inserted mammoth genes into elephant DNA in experimental hybrid embryos. Some suggest that within a few decades, living, breathing mammoths could exist. Imagine that. Creatures we thought were lost forever, alive in our time. What impact would that have on ecosystems, human society, and our understanding of evolution itself? Would they be confined to labs and reserves, or could they roam wild once more as nature intended? Here's another provocative idea. Some researchers propose that reviving mammoths could help combat climate change by restoring Arctic tundra ecosystems. These massive grazers would trample frozen soil, prevent permafrost thaw, and even influence carbon release. It's like using prehistoric animals as climate tools. But if this is happening or could happen, why don't we hear more about it? Which projects are public and which remain hidden? The truth might be closer than we think, lurking in the laboratories of the world's most secretive scientific institutions. And here's a question for you. If mammoths were cloned, would you want to see them alive, or do you think some mysteries are better left in the past? Comment your thoughts because the debate over de-extinction is as much ethical as it is scientific. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button because we're just scratching the surface of what the hidden world of woolly mammoths really holds. In conclusion, woolly mammoths are more than extinct creatures. They are symbols of nature's grandeur, human curiosity, and the mysteries that still lurk beneath the ice. From their incredible adaptations and surprising intelligence to the ongoing research, cloning attempts, and whispered government projects, mammoths remind us that the past is never truly gone. Every fossil, every frozen find, every strand of DNA carries secrets that could reshape our understanding of life on Earth. So next time you see a documentary about woolly mammoths or read a headline claiming extinct species, remember this: extinction may not be the whole story. The ice, the tundra, and the shadows of the past may still be holding secrets waiting to be uncovered. And who knows, maybe one day you'll witness the impossible, a woolly mammoth alive, walking the earth once again. And if you're intrigued, hit like, leave a comment with your theory about surviving mammoths, and subscribe to join us as we continue unraveling the mysteries of our world. Remember, every click, every comment, every share helps uncover the hidden truth. The story of woolly mammoths isn't finished yet, it's just beginning.